So today got some really exciting updates. Quickly run through our new headquarters. We got JobTread Connect announcements, got a new podcast we're working on, and then we'll get into the meat with our product updates, what's on the horizon, and talk about some training there at the end. So without further ado, let's hop on in. All right, so before we get there though, I want to, again, as always, remind everyone about the JobTread Pros Facebook group. We've now got over 1,200 members in there. It's a great place for you to be able to connect with people, share your best practices, ask questions, discuss any challenges, anything going on about JobTread or about your business. It's been really awesome to watch that community grow. So, if you're on Facebook and you're not in the group yet, definitely go search for it and request to join there, and we'll get you in there. It's really cool though to see all of our customers helping each other out. I'm obviously on there quite a bit and a lot of people on our team, but we love seeing people helping others, and we hope that community can keep growing and can keep being a great resource for everyone. So let's keep that going over there. I wanted to also announce, even though we put out a press release a couple weeks, or maybe it was back in May, we're just thrilled to have surpassed over $1 billion have been sold and managed in jobs on JobTread. It was just in January at JobTread Connect where we announced that we had hit, $500 million. And so to have already grown that quickly, and I think we're actually over 1.2, maybe even 1.3 billion at this point. It's really, really exciting. It fuels us to see, these jobs and to see all the sales and your businesses being able to grow, and to know that we're making such a meaningful impact. So, shout out to the team and to you guys for hitting this huge milestone for us. And, we're excited to get to 2 and keep on growing. So thank you all for building such awesome businesses, and just keep on selling. As you know, and I also announced this last JobTread Connect, we're in the process of moving offices. Definitely took us a little bit to get over here, but we are now in our new office. We're located right central Dallas. If you're familiar with the area, it's a 635 and 75, what they call the high five. So it'd be even easier to get to us from both Love Field, from DFW. But we got an awesome space here. We're really, really thrilled and still a little bit surprised that we're even able to be in such a great space. But, we really love this space. We can't wait for you all to come out and see it, whether, you come out to visit us, come out for, a workshop or training that we do, or, come to JobTread Connect in January. The cool thing about our building is that it's actually connected directly to the Westin Hotel, where we're going to be doing JobTread Connect. So, we'd love to show you the space. We got a lot of expansion area already built into our lease as well. So we look forward to continuing to grow. But, I think it's also really important for our team that we've got a great place for us. We're all really excited, motivated to come into work every single day. Got some cool things here in the office. We've also got great amenities, got a gym, we got tenant lounge, we got cafes, coffee shops. So, it's definitely a really great place for us to work. And we're really excited about this new office. And a little fun fact, when I look out my window, I actually get to see my old company's office right there. So it's kind of ironic in a way that, I spent so much time right across the highway, and we're now kind of looking at each other, looking down over at the other business. But super excited to be in this new space. I can't wait to show it to everyone. And that brings me to JobTread Connect. So we have secured the dates. We have secured the venue. Again, like I said, it's attached to our new office building at the Westin Hotel, January 17th to the 19th. Be sure to save the date on your calendar. We'll open up registration, maybe next month, or, at some point in the near future here. So you can go ahead and get your tickets. You can go ahead on the website, just jobtread.com/connect. You can get to the block booking as well, as already available. But we're really excited. This will be our second time doing this conference, so it's going to be even better. Look forward to having you all here. I'm curious. Let's see in the chat, everyone who attended last year, just show of hands, or, post a message if you're there. What'd you think? You recommend it? Are you coming back? Love to see kind of anyone's thoughts there. But we're just like we did last year. There'll be kind of some bigger sessions, and we'll have a bunch of breakouts. We're also going to add a pre-conference day on the 17th. So if you wanted to come in and kind of get all the basics, we're going to load that up on that first day. That way, when we get into the meat of it on the 18th and 19th, you'll have already kind of gotten some of those basics out of the way. Also, we're getting tons of interest from our sponsors. who were there last year, new sponsors wanting to come. Again, we're always looking for great partners who we think can add, complementary services, who can help you keep growing your business. So, look forward to having an awesome, hopefully we can double in size. We had about 200 last year. We're looking for, 350 to 400 attendees this year. And, I'm sure we'll have even more sponsors. So it's pretty exciting, that our team is able to pull this off for you guys. We really do love the opportunity to get face-to-face with everyone. All right, and I mentioned it earlier. So what I'm doing here, I'm starting a new Builder Stories podcast. So, it's just been so awesome to get to know you guys over the last, several years. And I've heard so many incredible success stories that, I decided what we need to do is we just need to start a podcast. We need to start recording them. I want to basically be able to start documenting and sharing these success stories with everyone, with the entire community, because there's so much opportunity for people to learn from other people's success and from their growth and from their challenges, the things you've overcome. And so, this isn't like a JobTread, all about JobTread podcast. My goal here is to, learn how you started your business. What was it like in the beginning? How have you overcome all of your challenges along the way? What's your business look like now? Like, any and everything that could help others. We want to produce this new podcast and get it out there. So, I'm obviously looking for people who would like to come on, be one of our first guests on the show. We've thrown up a page on our website, or you can actually just go to builderstories.com. There's a request to be on the show form that you can fill out. But yeah, looking forward to start doing that, because, again, we're all about providing education and trying to give back and trying to help other people keep growing their business. And I've heard too many great success stories out there to not start documenting this and publishing it. So, hopefully once we can get a couple episodes recorded and we get this, published, then, you guys will tune into that as well. But yeah, really excited about this, and look forward to talking to you guys and spending a little bit of time with each and every one of you to help archive and document all that. All right, so without further ado, let's get into these budget updates or product updates. First one is the budget. And by the way, everyone thinks I drink a ton of coffee out of my JobTread Yeti. I actually drink water all day out of it. I'm just naturally just super excited about everything we're doing. It's not the coffee. I do have one cup of coffee usually in the morning, but in case you're wondering, it is water. The Yeti just keeps it cold all day, which is awesome. All right, so let's get into the budget. We've got a new improved user interface for this budget. It's not going to look entirely different, but there's a new action bar that you're going to see up at the top where you can switch your view. You can now search. You can have the full screen, the preview. We've brought out some of the buttons that you might have, you may or may not have known that were kind of hidden down in this area. We've brought them up to the forefront, so it's easier for you to see them and know about them. A lot of people didn't know that you could go full screen in the budget, even on our team. So, obviously that's a great tool to maximize that screen space that you have there. We've also added budget line items, numbers, so you can now see the numbering for the row that you're on. It's still clickable, just like the checkbox. You can select multiple line items, just like you're in Google Sheet or Excel, same deal. But a lot of people said, hey, we're getting so many lines, and when they scroll over left and right, you don't always see the name. And so we wanted to make sure, that we had that reference point there for you. We've also made it a little bit clear when you hover over cells that you can edit, you're going to see a little blue ring around it, just so that what is an input field and what cell that you can edit there. We've improved the drag and drop as well. Beforehand, sometimes it would be a little bit delayed, or it's a little bit hard to get it to drop exactly where you want it. We've made some improvements there. It's instantaneously, and we've added some new navigation keyboards so that you can now navigate around the budget just using your arrow keys, just like you would in Google Sheet or Excel. So it's really neat. A lot of great updates here that we hope are just going to make this even easier for you guys to use. We've also added the ability to now search. So you can now search the budget. This is going to search over the name of the cost items, over the description, over the cost types, the cost codes, as well as the custom fields that I'll come touch on here in a minute. Super excited. Again, long budgets, sometimes it could be hard to find what people are looking for when you call in for support and you're talking about a particular line item. This is going to make it easier for us, easier for you, everyone to be able to search that budget. Super excited to get this in there. I think it's going to be a great enhancement, and hopefully everyone will find good uses for it. We've also added some additional grouping options. So you can now group by allowance, which is a new one in there. We've always had the group by cost code, and the default is just to kind of group by the cost group there. Group by cost type. You can group by the item name. You can group by the unit, or if you just wanted to see a flat list of every single thing in your budget, you can now just say, I want, no groups, just throw it all into a flat list. So you can see over here in the side panel, when you click that gear icon, it's going to give you all of these grouping options right there. That have now been added. We've also got the, let's see, my filter option. So I think I skipped over this one. So, we've also now added the ability for you to filter your budget, and all of this can be saved in these budget views. So now if you just want to view, all of your materials or just your labor or just a particular cost code, you can now filter this budget. Probably the best use case here is, and I've seen tons and tons of times on the JobTread Pros Facebook group, like people want just a materials list. They just want to see all the materials for a job. So you can now do that, and you can save, a materials, budget view, or a, materials procurement view. If you just want your labor, just a particular cost code, like super great enhancement. It allows you to just filter down and view only the information that you're interested in seeing. All of this, yes, is also now live on the, we just rolled this out earlier, so you'll be able to check this out. So I'm curious, let's see in the chat. I mean, are these updates so far something that's going to help you guys? I mean, how many of y'all have been wanting that materials list and to just see everything that's classified as a material? Alex, you're posting just to the host and panel there. Same thing, Megan. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome feature. Materials list is great. Can it be printed? I do believe so. All right, so let's keep on going because we got lots more. I'm actively using it right now. Awesome. This is great. All right, great. Glad everyone's liking that. I knew, again, been asked for that for a long time. So excited to get all those searching and filtering options out there. I think it's going to be a great addition to the product. Let's keep going though. So we got our, all right, this is probably one of the, I think it was maybe number 3 or 4 on the feature request list, the ability to undo and to redo and to discard all your changes. We have now added that. So basically what's going to happen is you can essentially, make a bunch of changes and they're going to just be staged. So they don't get saved into the budget right away. They're like kind of temporary until you actually save them. Or you can undo. And so you can just go back through all of your changes. If you want to go back, all the way to the beginning, just hit undo, or you could just discard all the changes, or if you decide you want to redo. So we've now added the ability for you to, basically go through all of those. And unlike before, so now if you delete an item or a group, you can undo that. Before today, if you deleted an item or a group, it was just instantly gone. And obviously that wasn't a great user experience. A lot of people saying, oh, where did it go? Or how do I get it back? Well, that was a permanent thing. It wasn't like some of the other changes where you had to save them or not. Same thing before, when you moved an item or a group, it was instantly moved. And so there wasn't a way to undo that or, go back. And so now those things are staged. Any other line item changes can also be undone. And so, we think that this is, again, going to be a really helpful tool. I know a lot of people have asked for that. It was one of those top changes. The other really cool thing that, I'm really excited about is that if you've got changes that have not been saved and you try to click away from the budget, we're going to now prompt you with an alert that says, hey, there's unsaved changes. Are you sure? And so that's going to, be your signal to, hey, you either need to save them or to just discard them. But let's say, you go ahead and you proceed away anyways, and you don't go and you don't make any changes or save it. Well, just like before, all of those changes are going to be saved like in your browser for up to 15 minutes. So you can always, if you needed to go look at the schedule or go look at somewhere else and come back, they will still be there staged, ready for you to either discard them or save them. We don't permanently leave them there because, again, we could get into some challenges where, someone else might get in there, or you might, be on a different device, or, just, we don't want to have a bunch of kind of, pending things. So it only is going to be saved in the browser if you accidentally close the window, or, your computer restarts, or whatever it may be. It'll still be there for, 15 minutes, and you'll be able to cycle through, your updates and go back and forth, which will be really helpful. And you can do the, depending on if you're on a Mac or PC, you can do the Command Z or Shift Command Z to go undo, redo, or I think it's Control Z, maybe Control Y on a PC. So you now have all those keyboard shortcuts as well. Super excited about this. Just curious, show of hands, or on the chat, like how many of you guys were really wanting this undo, redo feature? Because there were a ton of people that voted on the feature request board for this. All right, got any love in the chat for undo, redo? Let's see, Scott, loves the keyboard shortcuts. Very, very nice undo. Yeah, so again, really excited to have that out there. That's going to be a great addition. All right, let's go. So that takes me here to our keyboard shortcuts. So a lot of you might not know about this, but and typically this works on just about any site. If you hit the question mark on your computer, that's usually like a shift slash, that basically it's a question mark that will open up the help menu for a lot of different websites, not just JobTread. But yes, this is what you can do to get to, and you can view the keyboard shortcuts right here. So again, there's some that you might not be aware of, but like now you can do new, like if you do NI, that's a new cost item. If you do, well, let's see here, is that on our, yeah, so actually maybe this, I think this might be a different screenshot, but yeah, so when you go and you open it up, you can do NI for a new item, or NG for a new group. If you hit escape, you can close that drawer if it opens up. You can use the Command Shift Z to redo, or Command Z to undo. So you got a really, quick way to go in and be able to quickly, kind of just work within that budget with some additional keyboard shortcuts. All right. Custom fields in the budget. This is a long-awaited update. I am so excited for this one. It's again something that we've always had custom fields available to you, but you had to open up the details panel to be able to actually edit them. And so we've now enabled you to add them directly into your budget views. We took a little bit longer to support all the different types of custom fields, whether it's a pick list, like a drop-down menu, or a date, or a number, or text, but like we now have all of that available to you right here in your budget, so you can view them, and you can just directly edit them right there in line. So some good examples of this might be, if you wanted to have a status for every single line item, or maybe you want, a purchasing status, or an order status, or delivery status, or tracking numbers, or SKUs, or, internal notes. Like there's so many possible use cases here that you're going to be able to do with these custom fields. And so just like, when you customize your view, just if you look down at the very bottom, you're going to see all of your cost item custom fields right there that you can now add anywhere in that view. So again, I'd suggest, creating a view that's filtered to just material, and have those key cost item custom fields there to help you track your procurement and make sure that all of those things are getting ordered on time and getting delivered. So really excited about this. This is something that, just really wanted. And I think it takes this budget builder to a whole new level to be able to have all of that right here, easy for you to access and to view. So hopefully everyone loves that update as well. That was one of my favorites. Been waiting on that for a little bit. Super excited to have it in there. And if you got ideas on how you might be able to use these, we'd love for you to share that, whether here on the chat or just on Facebook, as you guys come up with new ways that you can leverage these custom fields, share that out there with the community, because again, these ideas, like there's so many possibilities in how you can use custom fields to be able to manage your jobs here. All right, and lastly, we've got the ability to preview the preview documents on the preview your budget directly on the documents. This is available both in the custom or in the catalog, as well as directly on the budget. Not sure where my screenshot is here. I'm gonna try refreshing. Oh, there it is. So you can see here, we just like how you could do in the catalog for a while, you can now see these previews of what it's going to look like. And if you wanted to select a different document template, you can do that as well. It's just a good way to kind of quickly see how it'll be formatted right there. You can adjust your visibility settings. So super helpful tool that, I think we've had out for a little while, but just want to make sure everyone is aware of that. All right, so I think that might bring us to our, let's see. So now we're going to hop into a live demo of the budget. All right, so this is our new budget here. We've got all the action items, the action bar up top. Again, you can select which view you want to see right here. You've got the search. So maybe I want to see all my electrical items, or maybe I'm looking for my plumbing. I can just start typing and it's going to just automatically filter my budget for that. We got the full screen. Like I said, it just really helps maximize the space on your screen to be able to have that all right there. You can exit our full screen. Here's where we've got that preview. So again, you can see what it looks like. Maybe you want to see it, on your proposal. So on our proposal, we've defaulted to hide all the line items. Maybe you want to see what it looks like on an invoice or on any one of these bills, and it's going to take those template settings and display it there for you. Again, we got the import, the export button. So just kind of making all this, easy to navigate. So, if we wanted to, update this here, we can do that. We can now tab around, so here's, this is a, description, keep tabbing, or I can use my arrow keys to go back and forth. Maybe I'm going to update that, whatever it may be. I can just sit here and I can go through, and it's going to basically arrow me over to all of the things that I want to make any updates to, or, maybe we want to undo that. I don't want to make that change, or I want to go and I want to undo, any of these changes that I've just made. We can just cycle right through them, and I can go right back to where I started. Same thing with, if I'm dragging, so maybe I want to drag this over here, maybe I want to undo it though. You can see now it's highlighted yellow so that that something has changed on that line. So we can just change that. If we wanted to drop this, this group right in here, I could either, put it within this group, or now, you can also slide over. And so you can see this is going to put it right below that appliances group. I can't remember exactly what the challenge was, but sometimes it was hard to drag. I think maybe either above something or below something, but you can now get all the way to the bottom there. We can just swipe over. See this little indicator, the blue line shows you if it's going to go within a group or if it's going to go below a group, but we've resolved all of those things. So now you can see all that. I'll just go ahead and discard my changes. Super helpful to have those there, and that improved drag and drop. As you see, when I hover here, you're seeing the lines, just kind of let you know what's editable and what's not. So these aren't editable, so, you can still click on that, but it's not an editable field versus anything that's got that blue line around. That's an input field that you're able to adjust. We'll go ahead and let's go look at, maybe I'll just open up this side panel. So again, we've got the ability to select our different groupings, so if I want to group it by my allowance there, or maybe I want to group it by cost code, we can group in however ways you want, and you can save this in a new view if you want, or maybe you just want to temporarily look at it. There's every single line, just no groups, so it's pretty helpful to be able to see how you can just change any way that you want to view this budget. You've got the ability to do that. Now, maybe we also want to come in here and say, I just want to view my materials. So that's going to filter that. Or maybe we want to clear that out. We just want to view by a particular cost code. You've got so many different options for, the ability to filter and group there. Let's go over here though. Let's switch to created this new material procurement view here. So on this view, again, I've filtered it by materials only. It's still grouped up by the cost group. I left my kind of all of my cost data there, but here I've got my status field. So, maybe I want to, we can come in here, we can clear that out, or we can, choose any one of my pick list options. I can update those. If I hit enter, that'll let me come in here and, just adjust it. The cool thing is like all of this can be done with your keyboard. Like you really shouldn't have to touch the mouse very much. Maybe I want to come and say I've, this thing's been shipped now, and, maybe I got a tracking code or whatever. If I wanted to have a date, anything that you want to do that you want to track, maybe this is my, my order date, or my, my estimated arrival date, or my completion date. Like, these custom fields are so powerful. So just really think about how you might want to, you might want to use these. And it's a great way to just kind of, again, further track this information right here, so you don't have to have a separate spreadsheet. Really, really powerful stuff. And again, however you want to organize it, you can see that these are all just in whatever order that you want to have these custom fields. If I want to drag this up and maybe I want this, the status to be, at the very beginning of the list, I could come over here and I could drop it right there. Like I could turn off that description. Maybe I don't want any of this financial data and I just want my custom fields. I can come in here and then I can just hit save as, and I can create a new view. And that's going to then allow me to, have that. And again, I can decide, do I want this to be just for me? So right now it's just available to me and I could start, make it my default, or I could decide to share it with everyone out there. So lots of great power is available in these custom views here. So I think that's, I think I've covered just about everything with the budget. Let me just check my notes. Undo, redo. We got the keyboard shortcuts, so just again, shift, shift/ to hit that question mark. So again, new cost group, new cost item, just escape. We'll close any of those. So I can just hit NI and I can start typing, some new item I want to add, and then I can, basically let's do another NI. So another new item, maybe I want to do NG for a group. This is, a new group that we'll add, so super powerful stuff to be able to, very quickly without having to, always click the mouse and go through and use that. Like just for those people who you want to be as efficient as possible, these new keyboard shortcuts will probably be pretty helpful for you. Custom fields, got the preview. So yeah, so that is that's the update with the budget. And we look forward to hearing what everyone has to say about that. Should be a really great update. And again, that undo, that redo, I think will be a big favor to people as well. All right, let's see. Any questions I need to answer? I see our team is doing a good job keeping up there. So looks like David, I guess your mind is blown there. Awesome. So yeah, so I'll keep going. So here we go. Let's get into the task and the scheduling updates. Super excited about these as well. For a long time, we've wanted to essentially allow you to be able to lock the dependencies, so that you can essentially have a set lag time, have that offset between, two tasks. So now you can lock the number of days between two tasks. You can also set these dependencies in the Gantt chart, as well as you can set these in the side panel now. So you can see here, we've got the before dependencies and the after dependencies. So, if you got a big Gantt chart, it's, task kind of spanning several months. It's not always easy to drag that line to a task. So here you can just come in here and you can just search for that task and you can just tee it up right there. It makes it really easy for you to be able to, set those. You can also specify if you want the dependency to be anchored to the start or the end of a task, which is really helpful if you want to say, in one of my examples down here, let's say, you might want to, let's see, call for an inspection one day before the end of a task. Well, I guess that would actually be anchored to the end of a task, but there could be situations where maybe one day after you start a task, you want to have something else happen. And so you can set that anchor to the beginning or the end, which will be really helpful. And we've also in the Gantt chart, you'll see the blue line means that dependency has been locked. I see David asked, can the lag times be negative? So yeah, I believe so. You can basically kind of wherever you drag that task and set it, you could have just like in my example here. So let's say, you want to call for an inspection one day before the end of a task. That would be a negative one day, right there. So it's going to happen one day before when that task is scheduled to be ended. Or maybe let's say, another example, you need to wait 1 week after your concrete cures to start the framing. So if you needed to shift out the start of your concrete, that would automatically shift out the start of the framing. All right. So hopefully everyone finds those helpful and can help you again better manage all of your scheduling there with those new dependency updates. Moving on, rapid fire here. All right, task types and colors. Another top requested feature was, being able to categorize these tasks and then have them, color coded so that, they can kind of work however you want to see them at a glance. So you can now come in and create and assign task types. So we threw out some defaults there for you, but, as usual, you can delete them all, come up with your own. You could do these by trade or by department, or, if you want to have a priority, whatever, you want to come up with, you can customize these types. And then you can also assign colors to these types so that when you assign a task to that type, it'll automatically show for that color in all of the different scheduled views that we have, the Gantt chart, the list views, the calendar views. You're going to be able to see at a glance what is what type of task, and that coloring is going to be really helpful. So you are able to create up to 100 task types. If someone goes over that, let us know. We'll want to know what the use case is, but everything's got to have some limit. So 100 task types can be created, and you can customize those directly from the schedule, where you can or right in the let's see, where is that button? Well, it's not shown here, but I'll show you where it is in just a second. So yeah, definitely go through, set up your task types there. You can also use the mass actions to assign those tasks. So if you've got a bunch of schedules already built out, it's going to be helpful, where you can just, select all the things that you need, or select entire groups and assign those task types. So yeah, that is that is the update for the task types and colors. Has anyone had any, as people have been starting to use that? I'm curious to see what, what people have said about how that's been used so far. Let's see, setting the schedule baseline is not in there yet, but that's definitely something that we're looking for. Elliot, don't worry, we'll get that. We got a plan and we know how we want to implement that, just hadn't got to it. All right, so I'll keep going here. So with the task types and the coloring update, basically beforehand, all of the tasks would either show, red if it was past due, blue if it's upcoming, or green if it's completed. Well, since that is no longer able to show you the status of a task, we've added these little indicators here directly, in the Gantt view. So you can see the red, clock is basically a past due task. The green check mark is, a completed task. Or if you've completed it, not entirely, but a percentage of that task has been completed, whether you're using the, where you can enter the percentage, or if you have the sub task checklist items, maybe, 50% of those have been completed. Well, that's what's going to indicate, right there, you can see the percentage of completion directly on the Gantt chart. Super helpful. I think it was so David Hamilton posted on the Facebook group. He said, man, this is awesome. He showed a screenshot from his phone. Again, super helpful when you got especially a narrow screen to be able to get that status right there. So I think it was a nice little icing on the cake to this update. All right, so we've got now the ability to view multiple people on your schedule. Beforehand, it was you could only pick one person. So now you can view any assignment or all the unassigned tasks, or you could view one or multiple people by just checking. And then, it's just going to let you, if you want to view kind of an entire team, or maybe all your project managers' schedules, or all your estimators, or, all your electricians, you've now got the ability to filter, these schedule and these task views by multiple people. So small little update, but I think it can have a really big impact. So excited to have that get out there as well. All right, so another small little update, but I did want to bring attention to it. We now, so as you know, when you're making adjustments to your schedule, it gives you the option to notify everyone that's been affected. So this isn't going to send a notification to every single person, but if they were assigned a task, or if you remove them from a task, or the date or something like that changed, they will get notified when you leave that toggle on. But a lot of times when people were building out their schedules, you may be doing this in advance of, actually starting the job, and it's not, you're still just kind of setting the schedule. And so a lot of times people would have to go and uncheck the notify attendees every single time. Well, we now save that in your browser. So for a job, whenever you hit notify, whenever you turn it off, if you leave and come back to that schedule and make additional changes, it's going to stay off until you turn it back on, and then it'll stay on. And so now you have that ability to kind of not have to every single time turn it off before you hit save changes. Just a small little quality of life update, but I think hopefully it'll help improve people's workflow, and so you don't have to remember to turn it off if you don't want to send those notifications out. All right. Let's keep going. I see Dominic, these updates are killer. Love it. Thanks, brother. All right. Getting into some of my favorite stuff again here. So again, we've heard the need to improve the resource management. And so what we did with this Gantt chart view, where you can now group by assignee, again, beforehand, it just showed red if it was past due and blue if it was upcoming. We've now added it where it's essentially a heat map that provides a visual representation for each person's task load based on their relative workload. So for each person, it's going to show bolder or show lighter. So if you just have one task, it'll obviously be light blue every time. But as you get more tasks, the shading will get darker and darker and darker. Now, as you see in the screenshot here, I mean, we might have someone who, just usually has one task per day. And so whenever they have two, then it gets a little darker, but maybe your estimators are getting assigned, 10 or 15 tasks per day. And so we take into account, again, the typical, number of tasks that they're assigned. And we use that to vary the heat map and kind of the amount of bold that those colors are going to show. So at a glance, you can now see who is, overloaded relative to normal versus who has got availability. So this is available now. If, just from the main task, you can click on the Gantt and then you can do group by assignee. And so you'll now see that today, but I'm even more excited about what's coming up here, probably in the very near future, hopefully maybe next week. You're going to be able to open this view directly from any job schedule. So on the job, you'll be able to click, and it's just going to, maybe come up from the bottom. So right there, you can see everybody in your organization, all your employees, all of your subs, and you can see this heat map, and that's going to help you to quickly and more efficiently know who is available and who you want to schedule for that job. We're also going to add some additional conflict indicators. So, when you click on a task and you go to assign it, you're going to be able to see when you're trying to select who to assign it to, we're going to show you the number of tasks that person has assigned already for that same date range. And so, that may be enough for you. Or if you want to very quickly click and open up and see all those tasks that they have assigned, we're also going to show you the distance to the current job. So a lot of times, people, we realize they're going to do multiple jobs per day, have multiple tasks. And so, distance could be a really important factor to know if they're going to be able to be assigned or not. So we've got these updates coming out soon, just kind of to add to this. Again, we want to help you better manage your resources and your scheduling. I know a lot of people too will put in their equipment and set them up as an external user there, which is another great way to make sure that you don't double book a piece of your equipment if you have your own equipment. So again, I think that these tools and these updates are going to be really beneficial and help you to more efficiently schedule your jobs. All right. And we've also added PDF exports for every single schedule view. So, right there in the top right, you're going to see that export button. One of the options now is to export as a PDF. So you can export the list view, the Gantt view, the assignment heat map, the month, the week, the day, like whatever you have in your view, whatever filters have been set, whatever you're seeing on your JobTread screen, when you hit export to PDF, is going to instantly stick it into a PDF. We throw up your logo and have a little branding on there at the top, but you can now take that if you need to, do whatever you want to do at the PDF. Hopefully you're not printing it out and then wasting paper, but sometimes we realize you might need to do that. And so, it is a great and easy way to essentially be able to get a PDF view of all of your scheduling, views in JobTread. And I've seen a couple requests recently for the ability to PDF daily logs. That's also going to be coming out shortly, probably at some point next week. And so again, it's going to be, really quick and easy for you to do that. You can just basically export any view you want to PDF. All right. And last but not least, for the task and scheduling, this isn't out quite yet, but hopefully, in the next couple days, we're gonna be releasing this. I will show you a demo here in just a second. You're now going to be able to have saved custom views, for you and for the organization, so that you don't have to always go in and set those filters for those views. You can now filter by assignee, again, one or multiple. You can filter by task types, one or multiple. So if you just want to see your electrical work or your mechanical work, you can filter by dates. These are all the same filters that are in there, but now you're going to be able to save them in these custom views again. And we're going to let you have two defaults, one for the main task tab, and then one for when you're on the job schedule, so that you can have, maybe, I think a lot of people like to see my incomplete task on the main task view, but then when you get to a job schedule, you want it to default to the Gantt. So you're going to be able to have both of those options, and you can have two different defaults there. So let's hop in and let me show you some of these updates. Curious to also hear what everyone is most excited about so far. Oh, great, Bradley, this is what we've been waiting for. All right, so let's hop over to our schedule here. So yeah, let me, I got to try to remember all these things that we've gone through. So, I guess we got the dependencies first. So again, we can come over here, you can see we got this, so order cabinets, looks like we wanted to have a set, whenever we order, we need to delay before the install to take time for for them to get here. So we've got this this cabinet install is is basically got a dependency on it. So when we order the cabinets, the install is locked. So we're going to preserve that time between the two. So whenever I shift this, it's going to shift. So if we can't get that ordered, it's going to shift out that cabinet install. We've also got, let's see right over here. So just so you know, like you've got both, you can have the before dependencies where we can lock, and then we can toggle the anchor to dependency start or to the end. And so that's what's going to allow you to, to have it set to the beginning or the end of it. So maybe if I come over and I look at this task, the installation here. So this one is essentially, anchored to now it's anchored to the start of it. So that line is going to drag it over there. So whenever it comes down from the beginning, then that's when it's tied to the start of that task, versus now it's tied to the end of it. Whenever it's locked, you can see the blue. Again, we can come in here, we could search for all of the different, tasks that are in the schedule. So if we needed to tie this to, to something else, maybe to our demo, we can easily search and add those dependencies right there. While we're on this screen, we can also look at, we've got, again, the task types right here. So if I wanted to clear that, I could, you can see it'll default back to the, whether if it's upcoming, it's blue, if it's incomplete or past due, it's red, or completed, it's green. But this is where we can come in, we can set our, set whatever type we want. I think another idea, even creating a task type for, if you just want to see a list of all your to-dos, you can now categorize all of your tasks on the schedule that are just to-dos, and then you could create a special custom, view that just shows you your to-do task. Again, maybe you wanted this to be priority, low, medium, high. Maybe you wanted this to, maybe this is for the sales department or the production department, whatever it may be. You can come in here and you can categorize these tasks. That's going to control the colors. You've also got the ability, again, to set that progress bar. So as you see, when I'm doing that, it's showing our percentage of completion right there, or I can just mark it off as 100%. And we got the green checkbox, or if it was past due, like this one over here, we got the red. So yeah, those, I think that's the stuff we've got here. We got all of our indicators. Yeah, so that's that's all the stuff right there. I guess we've got the export here. So if we want to export to PDF, we can see that. I'll pull that up here. So again, we've got that Gantt chart, so you can view the whole project at a glance. Probably gonna need some bigger paper, but that lets you get that out there. Yeah, so let me, I think we've got the, let's switch over to the, so here, this is a staging server. We hadn't pushed this out to production, but again, I'm hopeful in the next, next couple days or so, we're going to get this out. So now you can see, this is all of those custom views that we can now set up. So, again, I feel like kind of when I come here, I want to know what is my incomplete task. That's what I've set to my default. Again, I just want to view the all task calendar. So this is set to, any status, any assignment, again, maybe I want it to be just a few people, or just, basically I could create a view that's just assigned to me, so that, this view will work for everyone. So if you just wanted to view your calendar every time, you'd be able to see that. We've got, if you want to see just the open jobs, or maybe you want to see all jobs, so all of these filters right here can be saved. You can also come in here, and again, you can switch which view you're looking at. It's really powerful though, being able to come in here. You can, just anytime you want to create a new view, you can clone that view. And so this, maybe this is my, new view, whatever it is you want, whenever you come to this, a lot of times people have their default go-to view. So you can now set that however you want to view that. And, again, maybe we wanted to have it by type. So I want to see all my electrical and, let's get my plumbing on there. Maybe, any mechanical, so like, again, I could save this now as a custom view so that every time I can come check the schedule of, a particular type of work, or just a particular sub, if this is, maybe I want this, I want to view just individual tasks, or I want to group this by job. There's all sorts of filters. And we realize though, that like right now you have to go and you have to reset those every single time. So we wanted to allow you to be able to save it so that it's quick and easy for you to come back to. And again, just like before, you can have your own personal views, or you could set these views to be available, to anyone else. So you've got all that. Pretty exciting to be able to see that. Just so everyone knows, here's where the group by assignee. So this is that heat map. Some of you may notice too that the performance of this has been drastically improved, so it just loads up much faster. This is so much data to be loading though, and just like everything else in JobTread, we always are very keen on making sure that everything loads as fast as possible. So again, got this nice little heat map here that kind of shows everyone's availability. So yeah, that's the custom views that'll be coming out here soon. And I think we also, kind of talked about the PDFs again. So, you just come over here, export as PDF. That's going to, whatever view you're on, it's going to take that, and that's going to open that up right there in a PDF for you. So you can easily see that. Again, even the schedule, the week, the day, the Gantt chart, all of that can be exported as well. All right. So I think that takes me through all of our task stuff there. I'm curious to see in the chat. I mean, you guys liking these updates? Are we hitting the mark? Can you tell we've been listening to your feedback? Because you guys have really been very instrumental in helping us to drive the developments of this. It's your feedback that helps us keep improving JobTread and to know what is going to make the biggest impact on the most number of people. All right, switch back over here. Looks like I'm running low on time, so let's keep going. So payments dashboard, this came out a little while ago, can't remember exactly when, but hadn't fully announced it yet. But again, it's here to help you keep track of all your customer and vendor payments in one place. You've got the ability to see everything that's coming in, and everything that's going out. So your income and your payments out, it's automatically being pulled in from QuickBooks. Or you can manually create payment records if you're not integrating with QuickBooks. I definitely recommend it. It's a great way to keep everything in sync, but you can come in here and manually log those payments as well. And then you can assign those two documents. You can also create custom views just like before. So maybe if you just wanted to see all your payments received or just your payments out, or you wanted to have, again, just like before with the other filters and custom views, you can create whatever custom views you want. And you can view this from both the main documents tab. You can see it's just another tab on that documents. We're a little hesitant to keep adding more tabs to the navigation because we recognize that on smaller screens, it's starting to get a little squished. Same thing on the job dashboard there. It's under the documents tab. These payments are related to documents. So, we thought that made sense to put it there for now. But yeah, so that's the payments update. Hopefully that is helpful to you all. Now let's talk about some of the QuickBooks updates as well. So for a very long time, we were asked about, can we, support customer credits, vendor credits, refunds, all of that. So now there's a two-way sync between QuickBooks Online and your JobTread that's going to track your customer credit memos, your customer refunds, and your vendor credits. Those will just automatically be synced between the two. You do have to enable this though in the QuickBooks integration settings. So you'll see here there's a the option to sync credits. So that's what you're going to want to enable in that settings. That's very important. We didn't want to just do it by default. So you'll want to go turn that on, and that will allow you to keep track of, whenever you have credits, or refunds to your customers or whatever, that will appropriately update the documents now and keep all that information in sync. Another big update for the QuickBooks integration was the ability to sync the attachments. So if you attach files to customer invoices or to vendor bills, when those get pushed into QuickBooks, those file attachments will also be pushed into your QuickBooks. And when you create, if you create a vendor bill in QuickBooks and you attach the files there, those will then get synced into JobTread. So you can sync up to 10 files, and it looks like each file, max of 20 megabytes per file. So those are just a couple restrictions we had to work within QuickBooks, but super awesome. I've heard time and time again that you don't want everybody to have access to your QuickBooks, but you want them to be able to see the receipts or see the information. And so we're just, again, further trying to help share that information between your two, but this allows you to keep your production people, your project managers, keep them in JobTread and out of your QuickBooks, but still give them access to see some of this information. See lots of love over there in the chat. Glad you guys are liking the file attachments. See Darren asking, what's the future of QuickBooks Desktop? Hesitating to switch. Man, as I've told people, and I've had direct conversations with higher ups about QuickBooks Desktop. Add into it. I mean, they really are. They're phasing it out. They're essentially trying to fully transition to QuickBooks Online. They've invested all of their money and resources over the last several years into QuickBooks Online. A lot of the things that were lacking before have now been incorporated into QuickBooks Online, and it allows applications like us to have a real-time sync between the two because there's an API. With QuickBooks Desktop, they've told me there are no more feature updates being added to QuickBooks Desktop. They have not updated the web connector in a long time. They're actually even taking away some features slowly, and they only sell one version still, which they're going to essentially stop selling. I believe in 2025, they've quit selling QuickBooks Desktop in the UK and around the world. I think here's the last place. So it is something that, I do highly recommend you look again at QuickBooks Online, because we're able to have these, much better integrations between the two. It's hard for us to go and invest our time and resources into, the QuickBooks Desktop product when they're essentially discouraging us from doing that and saying that it's going to be going away and they're no longer supporting it, which makes it even harder, for us to do that. So I do think that, it's important to, make sure you make the right decision for your business. But it is something that they do provide resources to help you switch over, and we're official, part of some of their, partner programs. We can help get you in touch with resources, that they will help get you migrated from QuickBooks Desktop to Online for free at no cost. Or I know there's a ton of, consultants and people out there, and we even have partners of ours that will help you do that as well. So reach out to your customer success manager, have a conversation with them, and they can probably help point you in the right direction. All right, moving on here. So I know this is probably going to be a little bit over everyone's head, and it's not something that, most, construction business owners are not developers, but it's a very important thing to understand. So, we have come in and we've essentially redesigned our integrations tab. We're setting it up to essentially allow us to further be the platform that we are. An API as the definition is an application programming interface, but what that means is that allows different software platforms to work together to share information and to push and pull data between the two. And so JobTread is built on top of a robust API that we're making open to all of our users and to third-party companies, so that you or a third-party company can build their own integrations. This is essentially going to, allow, all sorts of different opportunities to integrate JobTread and to bring in information from all over directly into our platform. And it's something that, we're really fortunate that, we had the notion of an API from the very beginning of JobTread, and it's not something that, we're adding after the fact. Like, it is the core of our application is our own API. And so that has set us up to be able to do this. And so, we've now added directly in this integration section a JobTread API tile that you're going to be able to essentially open up. And this is where, if you need an API key, what are called grants, or if you need to create webhooks. And again, if you're working with a developer, or if any of y'all out there are developers, like you'll likely know what those mean. But we've essentially are now providing that to make it easy for people to integrate with JobTread. And we've also updated our API documentation. This is available and able to be sent to anyone, even if they don't have a login, but they will need to, ultimately end up getting a development org or talk to us, and we can kind of help get them started. But basically, we've got these awesome tools that are available to help developers be able to build their applications and connect to JobTread. So we'd love to hear your ideas about what additional integrations you would like to see. One of my goals with this is to be able to help us reach out to those companies and to see if we can get them to start building, because the more that we can get other companies to build on top of the API, that helps us to continue scaling without having to hire a bunch of people to manage and maintain everything and build it ourselves. A lot of things do make sense for us to build internally, but this is going to be a great way for a bunch of third-party companies to also build and connect to JobTread. So if you're interested in this, or if you know people or companies, please do, shoot them our way. Let us know that we have an open API and we're excited to work with them and help them, get integrated into JobTread. All right, running out of time. Couple little updates that, again, just not gonna dive into them too much, but we heard your feedback, the ability to hide the subtotal and the tax lines. You can now do that on the time entries and the time tracking. You can now see the distance from the job to where they clocked in and clocked out, which is a nice little update. Shows an indicator too if they were outside of the area. We've also made some selection and allowances updates. Upsell jobs by showing the amount of the difference. So instead of showing the total amount of a selection, they can just see the delta of how much more it would cost to upgrade. We also have the ability to have fixed profit on an allowance item, so that you can collect profit on the overage, or if you wanted to collect profit on the overage, we've continued to make some updates there. I saw an awesome post, or maybe someone had wrote in the other day saying like he's been able to increase his average job, just because of this feature. So I think he increased it by like 10,000 or something like that. Like, that's awesome. We love hearing that. That's ultimately what we hope you're going to be able to do, with this tool, is to continue, growing your orders and helping make a better customer experience so that they can make their selections and then finalize those amounts. So, and along with this, like, we're constantly making, littler updates along the way. They're not, we don't always, have them scheduled or make big announcements about them, but, the things that are quick and easy for us to do when we hear about it, or we see situations, like, we're all about that. We want to be responsive, and we keep putting out little updates as well as the bigger ones. All right. So let's talk about what's on the roadmap. Again, like I just said, we do want to keep making improvements while also adding some new features. So probably the next, kind of smaller project that we've got, we plan to, make some cost plus improvements. We've heard from a lot of people, they really want to be able to see, what documents have, like what bills have already been invoiced to the customer, or, just kind of being able to, essentially link those documents together, something that, we recognize would be tremendously helpful. We're going to go do that. We want to help you better manage, all of that, and to know what's already been invoiced for, what's already been billed for. So, that'll be coming out. We're also, we've heard that there's some additional, scenarios with the selections and allowances, such as when you want to get your selections, made before signing the contract. We're open to exploring how can we, are there modifications, or are there things that we can do that can better support that use case? So if you're one of those that has some ideas about that, if you haven't already kind of shared that feedback with your customer success manager or someone else on our team, like, we want to keep improving that feature because we realize how important it is. But the next biggest projects we've got coming down the pipe here is the dimensions and formulas to allow you to create assemblies. Super excited about this. Also, one of the things that I've been waiting on for a long time, and I know a lot of you guys are really excited about. So, I'm excited that this is now our next big project that we're going to be tackling in the coming months. And also, maybe in between big and small, I'm not really sure where it goes, but creating one additional document type, where you can essentially have maybe it's a scope of work, or maybe it's just, you just want to collect a signature, being able to have that, and not necessarily affect the budget. So you could still add line items if you want, things could be selected and agreed to, but like not having to always affect the budget. That we are going to be adding that document type here. So yeah, so excited about that one. And then, after we get past the formulas and dimensions, that the next biggest project after that we plan to tackle is the communications, the notifications, reminders. We've heard loud and clear. We see it at the top of the feature request. We definitely know that we can improve that. We've got ideas about that. So we look forward to getting that out there as well. Just there's a lot that goes into it, and we're going to have to really kind of, decide exactly what updates we're going to make. But, we appreciate all of you sharing your feedback, and voting up those and kind of giving your little 2 cents on, each of those updates that are on the feature request board, because that's very helpful. That gives us tremendous insight that we can go review, as we're planning out these projects. So, again, as always, it may seem like a lot of things, but you guys have seen how fast we're able to develop. I'm excited to get all these tackled here in the coming months, and hopefully they will continue to add value to your JobTread and help you guys keep growing and selling the business. So with all that being said, and again, a lot of updates have come out here. I just want to point out the what's new feature in the help desk. It's a place where you can go and you can see all the updates. You can see, what's recently been released. We try to put videos and help content right there. So definitely keep up with that. Obviously we'll have this webinar recorded, and, I realized I went really fast, so maybe you need to watch it on slow-mo. But, we'll keep putting out those resources. This is a great place to see everything that's changed and kind of view the full change log. And of course, we've got live trainings that we continue to do. We are adding some new exciting trainings here that Anna's obviously the 101s will continue on. All of the other JobTread trainings are also now available as recordings on the help desk that you can view. But we got a lot of people asking for role-based training. So Anna's developed an estimator crash course, a project manager crash course, one for office administrators and one for site supervisors. And so these new training courses, and they're going to be a little bit longer than just your standard 1-hour training, but they're going to help really just focus on the things that are most important to those people, and not as much of the administrative side and the setup side. These will be role-based trainings that I think are going to be very beneficial, to specific people on your team. So, go check those out. They're all listed on the help desk. You can register for them. And, again, we've got all those recordings as well. So if there are things that you think would also be great for us to provide trainings on, as always, we're all ears. Let us know. We'd love to keep improving that. As we get feedback and as we need to add additional trainings, we're happy to keep doing that. And that concludes my update for today. I hope everyone has enjoyed these updates, is excited to get out there and use them. Almost everything I showed was already been released. We got maybe just the task custom views that'll be coming out here shortly. But yeah, I'm happy to hang around and answer any questions as well. But lastly, I want to thank you all for being part of JobTread, for all of your contributions to the community, for helping us to make the best product that we possibly can. Also, thank you so much for all of the reviews. Like we're just, it's so heartwarming to see all of the 5-star reviews that we have out there pretty much everywhere. And so, please do, if you haven't given us a review, that is tremendously helpful to help other people find out about JobTread. Everyone on social media, on Facebook and all these groups, like, thank you all. Every time someone asks what software are people using, like, we really appreciate you tagging JobTread, you're tagging me or someone on our team. Like, people are finding us, we're growing tremendously. And that helps us to keep investing everything into the product, into the company. We're now at 1,500 customers. We're excited to get to 2,000 and beyond. And so just, thank you all of your help with these reviews and with the social that's helping us keep our customer acquisition costs low. It helps us not have to spend a fortune on advertising, and all of that helps us keep the price of JobTread as affordable as possible. Our goal is to keep that down and to get this into tens of thousands of contractors' hands. We want JobTread to be a standard for construction and for how you do your estimating and your project management. And so we really appreciate everything you all have done to help us make this the best product possible and for creating that awareness. Please do keep up all of that. And, as usual, we're here for you. If you ever need help, you have ideas, you can reach out directly to me, to anyone on our team. But we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. And happy to take any additional questions.
Thank you, Eric, for all of those updates. And we want to let you know, if you're not currently using JobTread, we'd love to continue the conversation and help you get organized, save time, and increase your profits. And you can schedule a demo on our website, jobtread.com/demo. Stay up to date if you're a current customer with all of our upcoming announcements and updates in the help desk. And don't forget to check out any of our future product lives and any other webinars at jobtread.com/webinars. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful day.